Welcome to another episode of the Do You Belong podcast. Here we are today with a very special guest, Mederick.
Hi. Hi.
How are you doing, Mederick?
I good, man. Busy though.
Busy,
A lot of
busy?
practice. Yeah, a lot of practice right
Yeah.
now, and it's this year is crazy in terms of the studies. So it's my last year in
Yeah, yeah.
the studies. How
Nice. Yeah,
about you, man?
you haven't been on the podcast for so long.
Yeah, it's because there's been a lot of things. That's why. With
Life,
school.
school
Uh,
life,
how about
everything.
how about you, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I was thinking, like I don't want to kind of let go of the podcast because I kind of like it a lot to just talk about different topics, and I think it stimulates your brain and your thinking and your opinions about a lot of things that maybe you don't think about every day. Um, so that's why I kind of don't want to let it go. But of course, life gets into the way. You study,
Mm.
you work, you have to take care of different responsibilities. So I feel like I've been kind of neglecting it. Um, but I really do enjoy the talks that we have, even if it's not on a podcast, right? So that's why I kind of want you to come back and we sit down for some time and just talk about different things because the world is fucking crazy and it's only getting crazier. And I think a lot of people kind of lose sight, including us, about what's important and what's not. Oh, he's showing himself now.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what's. Sorry if it's like all dirty and everything. It's been really, really busy.
It's
But
fine. They don't see it, so
I don't see it. Thank God. Okay. But no, yeah, you're right. It's been. I don't know what's happening, man. And I don't know if it's because social media over the years has become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it's just massive and all over the world. So we can see all the drama and all the problems and such at the same time, and we get overstimulated. Like Instagram scrolling, the amount of bad stuff I see there and stuff like that. Bad news, bad, bad, bad. Maybe it's that. I don't know. So maybe even before social media, I was like this as well. How would I know? But yeah, I think we have to teach ourselves to not think about all those things all the time because it gets overwhelming to the point where we just see life as a bad thing and stuff. And I don't know why uh, we enjoy talking. Not enjoy, but um, no, enjoy is not the word at all. Why we put into perspective, bad things like all the time. Like we just it's like the main topic of conversation in the news. It's
mm.
one of the reasons why I don't watch the news, but you kind of have to watch the news as well because you want to be informed, you want to different stuff. So
It depends on how you take it, right? I think news
yeah,
is at the end it's like a money making machine, right? It's still a company and they still make have to make money, and they know what gets people going, right? They know what gets people talking, what gets people feeling, and people feel more and are more emotional, I think. I don't know about the research about this, but they feel more when it's something negative or when they are scared, for example, or disgusted about something, or these things. It's like horror movies, right? Like horror movies are like objectively terrible. I mean, they're scary, right? But people still like it because they're into that. It gets them going. It gets them like feeling a certain
yeah,
way.
I'm a big fan of horror movies. My partner hates it though.
Yeah,
She's too much into it. But I know what you mean.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, but about the podcast, I think it's something. Something I realized
What did you realize?
that I don't know if it's only me or like maybe our generation or maybe it's just only me right now. It's not something I really had the time to talk about with someone, but I feel like sometimes at least I go too intense when I have an idea. So for example, the podcast, right? I remember at the beginning we were like, it has to be this perfect. It has to be. We have to cut like all the stuff so it looks very, very nice, very clean, very professional. Very. How about? we just do what we can,
Yeah.
because I've come to realize now how many months has it been, you know, like once you overwhelm yourself on a task for it to be very perfect, um, in a short term and not over a long term, because over a long term I know it will become better, but I don't know if it's our generation or just me, like I said, but I've heard of seen um, other people thinking the same way when it comes to, I don't know, new interests they had or whatever, and we give up very quickly,
Yeah.
you know, because we expect it to be miraculous, or oh, I'm gonna get the abs in 1 month, or oh, I'm gonna get super popular on YouTube, or in 1 month. Like it's things takes time, and I feel the generation before us, like our parents, are more aware of long-term goals and what you need to do to achieve those things,
You
and
know,
it's just time.
I really think that it has to do with like the amount of time we spend on like on the internet, because I think the internet has really made short-term gratification like extreme for a
Yeah,
lot of people.
yeah,
Like you can get a lot of satisfaction in a very short amount of time, which makes you think that you can get that everywhere and with anything in life, which is not the case, right? It's usually the case with entertainment, but it's not the case with any kind of success, right? Like, yeah, some people are lucky. Some people can do something and they can succeed in a very short period of time. But that luck is usually very rare. Like
yeah,
even and to on top of that, right? Even if you right a lot you so you're basically saying that if somebody does something and they think they would assume that it's quite easy, right, that they can do anything in a short period of time, so then they do it and then they don't see results and then they quit, right? But then I can tell you also another example, right, like a very personal example is running, for example. Like literal barriers where it I kind of like life kind of tells you, hey, you cannot actually go anymore, you have to take it slow, and if you don't take it slow, you're not going to take it at all. It's like I started running a lot, and I thought that I could
yes,
do more, and I can break a PR every month, and I started just to push the highest, like distance I can do, and then I was already feeling the fatigue, and I was like, I was trying to prove myself that I can do it, but you cannot just like do it brute force, right? And I did the brute force way. I thought, oh my god, short term, I can do this in a few months, no problem. And then I did 15 kilometers, which was my highest like distance count, and I felt really good. But then like right now it's been like 2 3 weeks and I cannot do shit because my knee is hurting, everything's hurting. I don't have the basics, and I need to
yeah,
strengthen the basics to get actually further, and that takes time. And that's basically like that. That's not even me quitting, right? It's just life telling you, hey, take it easy, and if you don't take it easy, you can fuck up your knee or you can fuck up your body in a way where you never come back. So it's just not even that. It's just nature by itself. I think everything takes time. Evolution takes time. Things just take time, and those things are usually come back and they gratify you even more than those like short term things, right? So not only is it that we quit, it's also that just nature, I think, just by itself is a bit more slow paced than we are in this society.
yeah. This goes perfectly with the lifestyle like I'm doing right now with doing thesis, doing practice, learning how to drive. Yes, I'm quite late. I don't care.
Hey, better
My
now
life
than
has been,
never, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it I pushed it because of how my life has been going with travels and stuff like that. Like I never saw it necessary, but now with Sweden being very large and very distant cities and such, I think it's going to be very good. And also with my job.
Mm.
But and yeah, that thesis trying to learn about wildlife because I really want to go into that. Uh, yeah, man, it's you're trying to do everything, but you can't, you know. And even when you do a little bit per day, um, it doesn't really work because let's say like 20 minutes, it's still better than nothing, but you have to do a little bit more, and that's the hard part is that you have to choose. what you're gonna spend your day with,
Mm.
in terms of improvement. And I don't know if you feel the same, but I find it very difficult to decide what to start with, you know,
Yeah.
because all of
I
those are
think I think a lot
priorities.
of people have that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It sucks when it's all the little things you want to do are actually priorities and not like sides, like hobbies, for example. Like the podcast, we don't have to do it every day, you know. I
Mm.
think once a week, every Saturday, 1 hour, 2 hours, like it's plenty enough, you know. But to do it every day, like, you know, no, 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 no. Because I fear sometimes when we put too much focus on things, um, we lose discipline, track, and motivation, and the quality of our work becomes, you know, less good.
So what are you
And
trying to say then? Are you trying to say that like consistent work is not good, or what do you mean?
consistent work is very good, but you have to choose what you're gonna be consistent about. And I think the finding the answer for that is very difficult. At least for me, it is. And right now I'm at a point where I don't know where to start. To be honest with you, like I want to do everything at the same time. You know.
Yeah, so that's a problem I feel like a lot of people have. Like they see things or they hear things and they experience something like shortly, right? And
Yeah.
they feel like they really want to do it, which is totally fine, right? Like we live. I think we're lucky to live in a society where we have these opportunities. So I totally understand, right? I also have like so many hobbies that I want to do, so many things I'm interested in. And now you're basically saying that yeah, we're interested in a lot of things, but it's kind of hard to focus on what we want to do, what we actually want to spend our time on. But
Yeah.
well, isn't that dependent on what you want to achieve or what your goal is? Wouldn't it be easier if you just had a goal and then you would know what to focus on? No.
But that's what I mean is how do you decide that goal? I think that's the hardest part for me. Because I want to like the goals I want to choose are related to one goal in the end. It's being a very good veterinarian and becoming like Stevie Irwin's, you know. Uh,
Who's that?
he's the guy that from Australia. Like right here, we have a
Oh,
pumpkin.
that guy. Yeah. Isn't his
No,
son like super famous now?
yeah, 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 super famous as
I
well.
thought it was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guy who drinks piss in the wild. What's his
No,
name? The
That's Bear Grill. That's Bear Grill. Yeah, Bear Grill. Yeah,
Bear
a
Grylls.
real
Yeah.
Bear Grill Bear. Grill Bear. Yeah, something.
It's funny. His name is Bear Grylls.
Yeah, it's yeah, very very unique name. But no, 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 man, he's so cool, and I would love to do what he does, but I find it almost impossible to achieve that because of how I cannot set a goal. You know, like the thing is that I don't know. Do you feel like this where you want to set a goal, right? But you find it almost scary to start going or to start working on it because of failure. And I know that failure is the answer to life. Like it is the only way. You learn nothing from success. I'm sorry. You learn that it works, but in order to do that, you need to learn 10,000 ways of how it doesn't work. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's a fair man. Because I feel like, what if I waste my time doing this? What if I waste, 10 years doing this and it didn't work out? And I think that's very, very scary. And I understand that sometimes you just have to jump in. And I think that our lives will become or becomes greater the moment that you have one goal, just one, you know.
No.
And I cannot do that. I cannot. I want to be like. I'll give you an example. Like, I want to be well cultured, with books. I want to be fit, not to the point of being like Arnold or you know or something like that, but just healthy, take care of my family, being a very good vet. Like that's already like four different things. It doesn't seem like a lot, but the steps you have to take to achieve those goals is insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
But it like
Come. How do you come to?
I To be honest, I was dealing with very similar things, right? And I would still be dealing with it if I didn't realize one thing, which is that you are stuck in inertia, right? You're stuck in not even inertia, just like in like you're just stuck, right? If you keep thinking about what you want to do instead of actually doing something, it doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you choose wrong. Obviously, it's better if you choose right, right? If you choose what is actually going to bring you the most benefit, right, to your life. But let's say you choose to focus on a hobby that you want to do, right? Which is already a very lucky thing to do. A lot of people cannot do that. They don't have time for hobbies, right? So we're lucky enough to do it. But if you do that, it's still better than not doing anything, right? And
Mm.
also, you have to realize you cannot do everything at the same time. Then if you do everything at the same time, you're not doing anything, right? You're not doing anything. You're doing nothing basically. It's better to do one thing well, right? To just focus on one thing for a short period of time, and then after that short period of time, tell yourself, okay, I did this. Now it's time to do something else. At least that's how I see it, you know. And I told myself, yeah, I have a lot of hobbies, but if I don't have the fundamentals, if I don't know the fundamentals, right? The basics of being an adult, for example, of having being responsible for other people, right? The basics. I'm not talking about the, like jumping in and doing it like full time. Just saying, do you know the basics, man? Do you know the basics of your field, right? If you don't feel like you know them, go back and revise those things, because those basics, once you go to get a job, right? You'll probably get a job, right? Because we have worked in it, we have experience, right? But I know a lot of people who are in a field, for example, in their 40s, right? In their 30s, 40s, and yeah, they have been working in the field, but they don't even know the basics sometimes. Sometimes they don't have the foundations, to actually build on top of. Where in their 40s they suddenly feel stuck because they actually cannot move anymore. They cannot grow anymore because they feel like they haven't done the basics. So I feel like right now, since we're at the start of our careers, it's like a time to look at the basics, look at the foundations, create those foundations, right? Uh, to actually grow, and that's the thing that you need to do, right? What is the thing that's gonna give you most benefit? Probably your career, if I'm not
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. It's just my field, the basic is just insane. It's just it's just insane in my field. Like it's just like the basics are not just basic, they're just in so many different like species and such,
But
so it's
then,
very hard.
but then that's the question, right? Like that's why people choose careers. Like I'm pretty sure if you wanted to do what I do, I'm not gonna say that you cannot do it, but you're gonna find it hard, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if I do what you do, I'm gonna find it hard. But that's why I do what I do and what you do, right? Because we are good at what we do. You are good at
Mm.
what you do, right? That's why I don't do what you do. So then you are you have chosen this field, you have practiced in this field, you have studied in this field. You shouldn't I'm not saying you shouldn't feel like this, right? Your feelings are valid. But you should be, and you are, I'm telling you, you are definitely more suited than most of the other people, right? You already have a basics. Now it's just up to you to work on top of that, right? You're saying that the foundations are too much, but no, every fucking field's foundations are too much, are complex. Nothing's easy, right? Like medicine is what you do, engineering is what I do, right? It's or computer science, whatever you want to call it. It's complex. It's always complex. But that's why we have professionals like us, right? Or wannabe professionals. Is wannabe the right word? I don't know. Uh,
Yeah.
but like that's why we are in the field. We study it. That's why we put so much effort into actually doing it to become those professionals, right? If you were some guy who doesn't give a fuck about medicine, yeah, of course, yeah, I'll be like, yeah, of course it's complex. But bro, you are a veterinary student. You have
Mm.
not even one more year to go to finish your degree. That counts for something. You're more suited than 99% of the population to do what you do.
That's kind of true, actually. You want to know something that I've I also noticed? It's not just in my field. It's in I think in general. When we work in a any kind of field, doesn't matter. Um, I feel like students, uh, which is something I especially do, which is not good. We compare ourselves to the people who have been in the field for a very long time, but we don't look at the populace. Is that a
The
word?
populace, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for example, if like you just did when you compare yourself to knowing my field versus me knowing your field, you are 110%, 150% way better than I am in your field than mine. That's because I don't have the practice for it. And I don't know why we keep doing that, where we compare ourselves to somebody that obviously had has had more years to fail and to learn and to
yeah.
practice. And I
But
don't think it's a very good mechanism.
it's that comparison, man. It's the comparison that keeps you not doing anything, right? I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying you're not doing anything. You're doing things obviously, but as I understand it, that you are not doing as much as you would want to, right? You
I'm
find it
quite
hard to
inert.
focus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
So
inertia you mentioned earlier. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You it like comparison is really like the thief of joy, obviously, but also it doesn't really do much. It doesn't do much. You should compare yourself to yourself.
How do you do that though? How do you
That's
do that?
that's why that's why you set goals. That's why you need to. I don't know. Everybody has a different way, but I use numbers, right? I basically
Yeah.
say or knowledge, right? So like you basically do an exam in veterinary science, for example, right? An online exam or something like that, or like a certificate, right? Whatever it is. You do that, try it once. If you fail, you're gonna be like, okay, I failed, and then you study. You make a goal, right? You study for, or you improve yourself for a month or two, and then you go back and do the exam again. And then if you're like, oh, I did much better this time, but I still failed, then you know that you're improving. So you
You
have to set
forget.
like
Yeah,
quantitative goals, like benchmarks.
yeah. You forget. Like, something cool I've decided to do this year with mentorship. I don't know if you also do it in your field, being a mentor. Like it's.
Um,
I don't know if it applies as well.
like at uni, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're helping the new students getting along and
Oh yeah,
understanding
you can also
what they have.
you can be a tutor, yeah, here as well, or
For
mentor
for
as well.
anybody listening that are like a few years older in whatever field that you're studying right now, I really recommend doing it. When I went back as a sixth year to the first year, uh, this year, a lot of year, Jesus, uh, I, I it brought back a lot of memories, man, and it brought back a lot of man. It's not to insult the new year. It's gonna sound like an insult, but my God, I didn't know anything the
Yeah, yeah,
first year, and I'm not trying to say that. Oh, my mic, is it too far?
too
Too far?
close.
Too close. Okay, my bad, guys. Um, I yeah, it brought back a lot of memories where, in a good way. I'm not trying to insult the first year. What I'm trying to say is it was very nice feeling to know that I did get better.
Mm.
I did get better, and you forget about it over the years until you have a comparison, which is the first year. You know.
Yeah, but that's
Um,
why I say you have to compare it to yourself, right? Because a lot of people don't compare,
yeah,
and then you forget that you're actually improving, that you're actually doing
yeah,
something, and then you feel like you're not doing anything, and then you ask yourself, oh, I'm not doing anything. What should I do? Which is
yeah.
again, it's not a bad thing inherently, but it shows that you need to compare yourself to yourself if you want to
Mhm.
see progress, right? If you're looking for that. If you're not looking for that, you don't need to compare yourself. I mean, I personally believe you should do that, but some people just want to have a chill life, right? So like that's nothing wrong with that. But if you do want to see progress, then you should compare yourself to yourself, not to others. So this was the first part of the episode. We hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, we decided to split the episode into two as it was quite long, and you guys, according to feedback, wanted something a bit shorter, not too long. So we decided to split this one into two. The second part will be released on Wednesday, and so just a few days more wait, and then the next episode will be as usual on a Saturday next week. All right, have a good one, guys. See ya.